Welcome to the G.N.A. podcast, Games, Nerds, and Alcohol, where I get drinking and then run over to somebody's house to help them get into their house because they locked themselves out of their house, and then I'm late for the show, and Blue is so graciously waiting patiently for me, staring at me with those loving eyes and that beautiful smile and those teeth, those beautiful white teeth. How you doing, Blue?
I'm doing well, sir. How about yourself?
Dude, it has been a day. It has been a day, I'll tell you that much.
Is that all you want to tell me? You don't want to tell me anything else?
No, I figured I'd jump into State of Games and tell you how it all has gone through. But yeah, so I was totally late tonight. Buddha messaged me and Shadow Fox messaged me going, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, what? And he calls me up. He's like, "Are you drunk?" And I'm like, shortly I'm going to be. And I'm like, as soon as it kicks in, yeah. And then he's like, because we need to get into this, we need to get into Buddha's parents' house. I'm like, so knock on the door. Oh, no, nobody's here. Okay. And we lock the door on our way out. Okay. So there I am running over there. Now I smell like corrosion and dry lube. Because they had, the house was built in like the 50s. So the locks have not, the one lock had been replaced, but it was like a brand new lock. So like the tumblers and springs hadn't been broken in at all. Like, oh God.
Oh, so you had to force your way into this place?
Not force, just bypass. Exploiting a weakness, we'll call it that.
I see nothing illegal with that.
Well, no, technically, there was nothing done illegally. I asked for permission before I did, and they gave me explicit permission. Virginia is a... what the hell is it? I forget the term. But it's basically if you're caught with pics on you, basically you can be held guilty of a crime that happened in the area just by having those pics on you. They can detain you and then see if there was any crimes that happened in the area. And if they're found, it's prima facie. That's it, prima facie. So if they found that there was it's basically guilty until proven innocent. Really, that's all it just boils down to. There are several states that
not cool.
It is not cool, but if you think about it, why the hell would you be walking around with lockpicks? I have them in my house because I practice lockpicking. It's a hobby of mine. I've done it since I was a kid, actually, since my dad taught me how to pick a lock with a bobby pin and a screwdriver. And I've just worked my way up from there.
You're a locksmith.
Yeah, I got to get my license eventually, but yeah, pretty much a locksmith.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into how screwed up that is that the government's going to require you a license to be a locksmith.
Well, I mean, I agree with it and I don't agree with it. Like, there are some states where it's just like you can carry them on you and whatever. There are some that are prima facie states. I think the prima facie laws are a bit archaic and outdated and really should be revisited. And instead of like, basically you're guilty until proven innocent. And I'm paraphrasing. Look up prima facie laws. It's just my interpretation of it. It basically just means that you can be detained, and your tools, removed from your person as they wait to see if there was a crime committed in the area. If there's a crime committed in the area that those tools would have been used in, then it's basically like, 2 strikes against you right there. You were in the area and you had tools on you. So ergo, you're a prime suspect in the crime.
Yeah, but then, like you said, it's guilty until proven innocent. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, it's, as I said, they're archaic laws. They are. But nobody wants to sit here and listen to us nerd out on... Oh, maybe they do want to listen to us nerd out.
Yeah, but this isn't Rakita law, so we're not going to talk about that stuff. We're going to talk about games, nerds, and alcohol.
Well, I was inebriated when I did it. Does that count?
Kind of.
So, you got to see this, though, Blue. All right?
All right. Known for the holidays. Nice.
Yep.
I like the family shirts, right? Those aren't sweaters.
No, they're actually, if you look, they're also pants too. They're matching pajamas.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you guys are going all out for this. Yeah, very nice.
Matching pajamas.
Very nice. That's very cool. Yeah, we went over to one of our friends' house tonight. I've already gotten heck from Brittany for it. They had lights hanging from the roof. They had a Christmas tree on the front porch. There was a nutcracker drape on the front door.
Okay.
Then we come inside. There is a garland on all the stairs. There's another Christmas tree. They have like the TVs turned on in the fireplace and it's playing Christmas music, and you can see the kitchen's been redecorated for Christmas. And the wife goes, yeah, and she points to her husband. She goes, yep, that's all him. And Brittany turns to me and I go, nope. Because one, we don't have enough Christmas decorations to do something like that. And two, I'm telling her that we should just slowly accumulate Christmas decorations over the years. So we don't spend like hundreds of dollars in one big blow. We just buy one thing every year.
One ornament a year.
Not one ornament, but like, so she wanted a lit up garland for the front door.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. And this year we got some lights, and we're going to put lights around the tree outside. Like,
no, what I mean is one ornament a year for the tree. And you can get other Christmas gifts or other Christmas decorations, whatever, but that's what we do. We do one ornament a year for the tree. So we've been together for 26 years now. So we have, 26 different ornaments. But we have one ornament. We started doing one ornament per person, and now we just have boxes of ornaments. So I think we're back down to just one ornament a year for the tree.
Very nice.
Well, anyways, let's kick into some stuff here. What are you drinking? Are you drinking anything?
I'm drinking strawberry seltzer, not alcoholic.
Well,
nothing special.
I am drinking a Dogfish Head Worldwide Stout that has been aging for about 2.5 years. And unfortunately, I screwed up because I had this in my little mini fridge, and my mini fridge went on the fritz, and it froze it. And now it has lost almost all of its flavor. And it is just unfortunately a very skunked beer. But
a $12 skunked beer.
A $12 skunked beer, so I'm drinking it. I'm drinking it. I'm probably going to get the shits later, but I'm drinking it.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's unfortunate.
It's a choice. I'm choosing the poopies. I'm choosing the poopies tonight.
Well, yeah, you're an idiot, but it's unfortunate that your beer has suffered this loss of flavor.
Yeah. It's a thing. Well, anywho, state of games, since our what are we drinking is totally lame. Just womp,
yes,
womp, womp, womp.
Very much so.
Well, hopefully we can redeem ourselves with State of Games. State of Games is where we talk about what we've been playing for the past week, or we pontificate on what we feel gaming is today. So, what's your State of Games, Blue?
So, I've been playing Pokemon Go. And I will elaborate on such a thing as that. So, the Season of Mischief, I'm about done with that. I need two more raids? One more raid. And then I get the Hoopla I can unlock Hoopla Unbound. It's been pretty good. I have to say that season, for something that where they're like, if you didn't finish it by December 1st at 9 o'clock in the morning, if you didn't get the season, there was like 2 parts to it. Season of Mischief, and then I forget what the second part was called now off the top of my head, but it's 3 steps. If you didn't get to the 3-step portion by 9 o'clock on the 1st, you had to buy it. But it was pretty simple to get it. They gave us ample time. Right now, there's this season of something else. I forget what it's called. Elements, maybe? And I'm getting started in that. It's just doing dailies, collecting Pokemon, and I'll unlock everything, I'm sure, by the end of 89 days. So you give ample times. You have to get 120,000 Stardust, which, if you do your dailies, is pretty easy, given... The heck is this? Oh, that's just that Pokemon. Okay. I've already caught you. I don't need you. But it's called Season of Heritage. Sorry. My bad. And the Mischief Unbound quest is the one that you had to buy if you didn't unlock it by the first at 9 o'clock in the morning yourself, which was pretty easy. So I'm doing that actually last week, and while I was waiting on you, I played Jedi Fallen Order. I finally, after having that game for exactly 1 year, I finally just beat it.
What'd you think?
I have to say, it was very enjoyable. It's not replayable in the way I would like it to be. So there's a lot of places that are unexplored that I need to go back and look at. Sorry. There's a lot of things I need to go back and look for just to get, like, it's cosmetic stuff, most likely. But there's not a lot of, like, boss replay, and it's not like Final Fantasy 15, I have to say, is a very replayable game. There's a lot you can go after. There's a lot of bosses. There's a lot of monsters and hunts you can go on. So I really feel like you unlock all this power and this potential, and then it just kind of goes to waste on just minions and big minions going back through the world. I did enjoy the lightsaber play. I'd have to say that Jedi was very frustrating as a player level. The Padawan level, story mode was more enjoyable than Jedi Knight. Because with my limited time, I wanted to blow through the story. I wanted to know what happens next. I wanted to get somewhere, and finally turning that on was a lot more reasonable for me to handle, especially since I'm just not a Dark Souls-like player, and I feel like sometimes this game had a lot of Dark Soul elements to it, dodging and parrying and using your force abilities. But I really enjoyed the story. I feel like the ending could have been a little bit better, but you can't go off fighting the big old baddie in this game because it just doesn't fit in canon-wise, even though I guess Disney kind of destroyed the canon. There are some parts that are a little odd, not mechanics-wise, but like technical-wise, I guess would be the right term. So you play it, and there were parts where it's like it's like skipping on me during cutscenes. It did that in probably chapter 3 or 4, and then the zombies. You heard zombies. It's kind of like I don't know. I feel like that's an overdone cliche in games. Like, ooh, let's add zombies. But the one annoying part was the loss in graphics. So you would have like quality graphics and cutscenes, and you'd have decent quality in gameplay, but then there'd be certain parts where you're like, I'm just standing there, and I rotate the camera, and I can't see my face. Third person rotating the camera, my face is just a geometric shape that's for some reason hidden in shadow when I'm standing in light. So I feel like the graphics... Yeah, I feel like they're a little subpar. And apparently they're coming out with a second one, so I don't know if it's going to be bad quality. But yeah, I'm glad I got the game on sale because I really feel like If I had paid full price for this game, I'd be kind of annoyed because it feels like it's kind of short, and it also just has kind of like it's incomplete.
All right, couple questions.
Yep.
One, what system did you play it on?
Played it on the Xbox One.
Okay, because I played it on PlayStation 4, and I do not recall ever seeing that whole thing happen with the face.
Yeah, it could have been a glitch. I know there were times when I would fall through something.
Okay. I did fall through the world sometimes. I remember that. But
so
I
there
think
were
that
times when that
twice.
happens. And then, that reminds me. I hated the slide down something sequences.
Oh,
Couldn't stand those.
Yeah, they were annoying.
If you had a death counter, 75% of my deaths, especially once I turned it to story mode, it would probably kick up more to like 95% of my deaths at that point, because story mode, it's kind of hard to die, were from those sliding sequences. Oops, I'm just a little bit off of that. Oh, you can't grab the edge of that. You can grab the edges of anything else, but there's no geometry there for you to grab. No physical geometry. Oh, you missed the narrow path that you have to follow. It just drives me up the wall. I hated those parts.
All right, my next question. How did you feel about the main character, Caleb? I think was his name.
So, he had some interesting parts. Being able to, like, pick up something and sense the force and sense something that's happened previously was a pretty cool power. His hatred for the clones and the Empire was kind of was developed pretty well. There were other parts where I just felt like felt a little rocky. Like, he struggles with this stuff. He struggles with the Force, and he's angry about this stuff. But then there's parts where he's like, where every Jedi gets tempted by the dark side, gets tempted by their anger and their emotions, and it's usually like in the conflict with another Force sensitive, with the all-powerful entity, and it's like he's a Jedi Grand Master. And it's like, why does he calm during these points of conflict, but these other petty points he has all this anger and this hatred? Like he shut himself off from the Force because of his emotions and his fear, and then everything else he's kind of like, oh, I'm just a Jedi Grand Master. Like, why are you now good at this? Like, it just seemed a little
forced.
It seemed off pace, I would have to say.
Yeah, I gotta say, the one thing about that game that's truly annoyed the crap out of me was the main character. He was the weakest main character I've ever played in a Star Wars game, maybe in any game. There was not much compelling about him that made me want to relate to him in any way, shape, or form. You're absolutely right. He got angry about the stupidest of things. And like how he would get angry at certain things was just Padawan level, like just complete and utter, like a joke. So yeah. And the big bad that you're talking about, yeah, it is hard to add that fight in there and make it canon and make it work.
Yep. Because I tried running at him, and it's just like, it didn't work. And I think I ended up dying a couple times. And it wasn't until the third time that I finally saw something in the corner of the screen directing me what to do. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. because it catches you and you're in this cutscene or you're like in this fast action cutscene. You know, you can tell like how it. I don't know what it is. I guess it's the graphics change in such a way your HUD disappears and it's just like, what do I do? What do I do? There's normally a button I'm supposed to be pressing rapidly, but like, what the hell am I supposed to do? And it's like, I'm like sitting there and I'm like hitting a whole bunch of controls and it's doing nothing for me. And it wasn't until the third time I died that it's like, oh, I guess now I can do something. I don't know. It's a little odd. I don't know if it was like a hint that they finally gave me or if you have to die that many times. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, there was a lot of annoying stuff that happened with that one. But yeah, I'm glad you played it. I'm glad you had fun with it at least.
Yeah, I started just before you came on. I had started a new Plus game, so I'm gonna go through it and maybe try to pick up a few more things. And I'm gonna do it on a harder. I think I'll do it on harder difficulty just to make that a little more challenging. Now that I know what happens next, I'm not itching with the story so much. During Thanksgiving break, I couldn't wait.
Plus, it's just like playing a race car game. You know, once you know the track, it's easier to race it.
Yeah. What about you, Cecil?
My state of games has been pretty much 2 games, Graveyard Keeper and Destiny 2. I have been jumping back into my old habits of sherping. Been finding the little things that people enjoy doing or haven't gotten, and learning how to do it, especially with the new Beyond Light stuff, because the Destiny content vault has put a lot of things in the vault, so it makes it a lot harder to get them, or it's changed how to get a bunch of things. So there's been some alterations, and then there's just a downright buggy quest that just has been killing people. So I've been spending a lot of time learning that, and shuffling people in the clan through, just shuffling friends that I know who are playing through, just so that they can get all the fun weapons, fun exotics, so they don't get left out on anything. So I've been doing a lot of that, and Graveyard Keeper. There was a new DLC that dropped for that not too long ago, so I've been playing it on the Switch, and unfortunately it didn't drop on the Switch, but I've been playing it. I've been playing it on the Switch because it's just easier to mobile around, but once Steam Link comes out, I'll be jumping back onto it on PC, which ironically, by the time Steam Link comes out, I'll probably be exactly where I left off on PC, but on my Switch. So I'll just kind of transition right over into that. One thing I didn't do a lot of on PC that I have been doing a lot of on the Switch is the alchemy stuff. I really was focusing on a lot of other stuff versus the alchemy stuff. So I really dug into alchemy a lot more on the Switch. So that'll help me when I switch back over to PC, because I'll already have, already know a bunch of little tricks and whatnot, and be able to kick right into that and be solid. But yeah, I've just been playing a lot of Destiny 2, really. I've had this past week off because I'm starting a new job Monday, so actually the day before this episode releases, I'll be starting up a new job. So I took this week off just to kind of de-stress, chill out. I got some work done around the house, things of that nature. But yeah, so my state of games, things have been fun. I've been walking a lot of people through. Actually, one of the guys I worked with at my old job that I just left, he's been, he's played Destiny 2 for a while, and he's got his light level up to like, 13, 20, mid-20s or whatever, before I started talking to him and we started talking about it. So, I mean, he was playing a lot, but he hadn't done any of the co-op stuff. Like he didn't really know anybody to play with. So I hooked him up with the old clan that I was in, as well as I've been jumping on and playing. And now we've gotten him through two different raids, a bunch of end level content stuff, Presage, Harbinger, Shattered Throne, just a whole bunch of stuff that normally, you need other people to do. Well, Shattered Throne you don't need other people to do, but it's kind of nice too. but yeah, so I've been running him through. Moon's been getting a bunch of stuff done, and I've been helping him out on getting some exotics. Vintage, I thought was going to be playing a bit more, but he's straight off on other things. Every time he jumps on, he's like, "Hey, I'm ready to play." It's like, we're already doing a raid or an activity or something where we're already midway through, and I'm like, crap, I feel so bad because now he's on, and I'm tied up for the next 2 hours. But yeah, just been doing a lot of that. Trying to think if there's anything else I've been playing. Oh, God, I almost forgot. The Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. I played through and beat that one.
This is the same people that did Man of Medan,
and Little Hope, as well as Until Dawn on PlayStation 4. Supermassive games. I'm a huge... I call them interactive fiction. They're really, it's telling a story with some quick time events mashed in there, and you have choices. The best way to describe it is choose your own adventure with quick time events. That's the best way to describe it. Really fun. It's an interactive story. They're I don't know. They're classified as horror games, but they're really more suspense games than they are horror. Like Little Hope, I found that game way more suspenseful than I did horror. Like, there were monsters in it, but the monsters weren't like, they built suspense, they built angst more than they did like try to just scare you outright. And even Until Dawn, I would put that more suspense horror than I would just straight horror. They're just really awesomely fun games. But they are kind of a niche game. They're kind of like Heavy Rain, if you've ever played Heavy Rain, or Beyond Two Souls, or I'm trying to think of other games like it. Detroit Being Human. They're kind of in that same vein like that. So if you enjoy games like that, and you like the horror genre, these are the games that you want to play. Until Dawn's an absolute must. The Dark Pictures anthology, I'm gonna be 100% honest. They're not Until Dawn caliber. They're good. They're fun. I'm enjoying them. The twists, like, okay, Man of Medan, the twists at the end, the twist that happens at the end of Man of Medan, like, really, it throws you for a loop. And the best part about Man of Medan is that the Medan is actually a ship that was back in World War II. Like, there's a whole story around the Medan. And I forget what it's actually called. The something Medan. The Orang Medan. That's what it's called, the ship. And there's actually a whole, like, story about it. And there was... if you haven't had a chance, I think I've said this before, if you haven't had a chance, look up the story on it, because it's kind of freaky. There's conflicting stories of the ship was scuttled. Others say that people were just terrified. They got off the ship and then the ship disappeared. But the only stories that really coincide, that really match in any way, shape, or form, is there's several people that said when they got on board, they found people in what looked like a state of fright, and they were all dead. And they were all locked in this state of terror or fear. And it's a really wild story about what they thought it was, and what they pulled in the game kind of makes sense. Like, it logically makes senes when you go through and you play it. So I enjoyed it because it had just that touch of historical value, which, believe me, it's just a touch of historical value. There's not, don't expect anything actually historical to be here. Not even the layout of the ship. All right. But that little touch of historical value kind of gave it that believability. Like when a story has just got a touch of truth in it.
Yeah.
And the rest of it can be a complete lie, but that touch of truth makes it believable. That type of thing. Like, that's what this was. The Little Hope was really slow to start, but once I finished it and I found out about the twist, I immediately wanted to play through it again because I wanted to pay attention to some of the things that happened. Think Fight Club in that sense of the twist in Little Hope. It was like when I got to the end of it, I was like, holy shit. And I had to play through it again. In fact, it took me 2 months to get through it because the pacing was just really sluggish and slow. But then when I beat it, I was like, holy crap. And within 3 days, I had beaten it a second time. And then the House of Ashes, which I'm going to try not to spoil it. But my one gripe when I first started was, man, they revealed the monster way too quick. Like, holy crap, you find out that it's a monster, like a true full-on monster, way early in the game. And these games are short, so I mean they're not super long. They're meant to be short and meant to be replayed because you have different choices you can make through it. And really, do yourself a favor. Don't go out and look up a guide. Don't find out how to get the best ending or the worst ending. Just play it. And then replay it and try something different. You'll get the most bang for your buck, and it'll be the most enjoyable. But they're meant to be replayed over and over again and make different choices and see what happens. And I gotta say that at first when I was like, man, they revealed the monster way too quick, then I realized why they revealed the monster way too quick. And it was like, oh, that makes total sense. Now I know why they did that. It was literally to bait you into kind of a false sense of security of, oh, I know what this is. Geez, okay, I know how to combat this. This is going to be easy. And then you find out, oh, not exactly what I thought. Okay, bit of a twist. I'll work with this. But yeah, I love these supermassive games. I really do. They just, every time they release another one, I'm like, you got my money. And the next one is about, I want to say the Murder Hotel. What was his name? Shit. What was the guy's name who had the Murder Hotel? Who had like all the secret rooms where he was like trapping people and killing them?
Talking about a real person?
Yes, yeah, he's a real serial killer.
Do not remember hearing about that one.
Hold on. H.H. Holmes. H.H. Holmes. The Murder Castle. Besides his infamous Murder Castle, his name was H.H. Holmes. He had a murder hotel. Yeah, so this guy like had all sorts of different secret passageways, like vats of acid and shit. Like this guy was messed up, and he got away with it for a while. And I think when they found him, he literally just like was trapped himself in a room and like killed himself or something.
Apparently Meghan Markle is a descendant of Jack the Ripper suspect, H.H. Holmes.
Interesting.
Because I Googled it, and I got to Google images, get H.H. Holmes photos. Got a bowler on, and he's got the long handlebar mustache. And then there's Meghan Markle's smiling face. I'm just like, what the flip does this have to do with her?
So, yeah, so the next one, I believe, is about the Murder Hotel and H.H. Holmes. And it's the end of this, what they called it, season 1. So, I hope that they end this on a really, really high note and they can continue making games. Because, I'm a sucker for these games. I love them, and I will keep playing them, and they're all tied together. In fact, I've got to go back and look and see how because they have the same actors throughout the games. I say the same actors, same models, maybe not the same voice actors, but they got the same like actor models who play different characters in the different games. But in this one, House of Ashes, they actually tied it directly back to Little Hope, like to the point of you see a road sign that says Little Hope. And I want to go back now and see, do they have other things in all of these other games that tie them to each of the other games? Like if they're all that intertwined or not. The one thing that they do that does tie them all together is the curator. He's kind of like the storyteller, the narrator. If you ever played Until Dawn, you'll remember the psychiatrist. He's that guy. I was a little disappointed that they went down that road again. I kind of was like, well, they're kind of feeding from that well. But after playing them, I realize how important the curator is and how they're working with them. So I'm digging it.
Very nice. So are you, I've heard rumors that there's going to be another Destiny game or DLC.
Yeah, the Witch Queen. It's coming out end of January, I think, February. They're going to be vaulting all of Forsaken. So they're pretty much doing what most MMOs do. You know, they're moving. I say most MMOs. They're moving forward with content and kind of just leaving the old content by the wayside. So if you were one of the people who played Destiny 2 OG, then you got to play the Red War and all of that fun stuff. But now, now the Red War has been content vaulted, as well as the Leviathan raid. So if you love the Leviathan raid, can't do it anymore because it's been vaulted. And they're going to be taking all the Forsaken stuff now, and they're going to be vaulting that. So the Tangled Shore, honestly, the only good thing that I think is coming from it is the death scene for Cade 6 that happened in Forsaken, where they changed the voice actor for him. You don't have to listen to that anymore. Like, you're not going to be forced to watch that. Yeah.
Why would they change that? Why can't they just keep using his voice over and over again?
Well, so Nathan Fillion wasn't available for when they recorded that, so he wasn't there. Like, he physically wasn't there to record it. So for like all the stuff in Forsaken, it's not Nathan Fillion, but all the other stuff around it is still Nathan Fillion, which is okay. I'm okay with that. But I'm actually pretty happy that they're getting rid of that. Not to mention that, I mean, Cade 6 was a really beloved character by a lot.
Yes.
And killing him, like, really just, man, it hit hard. And I know why they did it, because they had to kind of pull on the heartstrings. They had to get you emotionally invested in what was happening in Forsaken. But then they turn around, and I don't know if it was Shadowkeep. Maybe it was Beyond Light. It was one of the two.
Crow back.
Yes, they brought Crow back.
They made him good or something.
Yeah, so he's a guardian.
Yeah,
but he's the embodiment of. No, I don't want to give it away in case somebody hasn't played, because it's actually a pretty big story.
Yeah, I know. I'm really behind on it. So
he's the embodiment of a really big character in the game. So it was just one of those whoa. But of course they did it like they put him in Crow's body. So you're like, well, I hate this guy, but I've got to not hate this guy because it's not really this guy.
Wait. So
it's not Crow. It's Crow, but it's not Crow.
Okay, so who's in Crow?
I ask me after the show.
You're not going to say?
Nope, I'm not going to say. Only because if there's anybody who's listening is like, man, everybody's talking about Destiny 2. Or if they just haven't gotten to it yet. Maybe they haven't bought the content because they're waiting for the Witch Queen to come out. I haven't gotten to it, but
I'm intrigued. But I'd have to say killing off Cade 6 was definitely... If you're going to do something like bring back Crow, it was kind of... stupid. Like you sacrifice this great piece and then you undo all the damage.
Yeah, it was
bad,
unpleasant.
Bad story,
right? Like when you killed Crow originally, it was just, and maybe it's not. Maybe I just don't recognize Crow's actual name because I've always just known him as Crow. But yeah, it was just like it was one of those times where vengeance has never really been a key factor of Destiny in any way, shape, or form, and they brought vengeance into it, and to just reverse it like that, be like, you got your vengeance. Oh, but guess what? It's not over. He's back. It's like, dude, give me his ghost. I'm gonna rip it in two, and then I'm gonna rip him in two.
Exactly, and I think the idea of let's kill Cade. So Cade's killed by Crow. Good idea. Okay, let's tug at the heartstrings and then let's get vengeance. Let's make Zavala and Ikora teeter on that in that dark area. Kind of like between light and dark. Let's let them teeter more towards, instead of being vanguards, let's make them... What was the other... Mass Effect? What's it called?
Oh, not the Heretic. The Heretic was one of the guys, the Covenant.
No. When you became... You were either...
No, Mass Effect. I was thinking Halo, sorry.
Yeah, you're either considered to be like good, or your actions are considered to be bad. And there were two names, and I can't remember the name of them right now. But
yeah, Paragon
Jedi
or something?
Say again?
Paragon,
and then what was Paragon, and there was the bad one I can't remember.
Jesus Christ, I haven't played Mass Effect in a while. I know what you're talking about, though.
But yeah, so like doing that, like, you know, going Jedi and Sith. So like make them teeter towards the dark side of the Force. And have your character do that. And then all the other stuff that follows it as far as DLC goes caters to the darkness. Caters to bad.
Well, you haven't played Beyond Light, have you?
Not really.
Yeah, well,
I haven't gotten far enough through it. But I really feel like that's where they could have ran with it. And it could have been this whole, like, fighting corruption and avoiding going too far. Like,
yep, you definitely got to play Beyond Light.
Yeah, so I don't know. But when they just bring them back, like, I feel like that just destroys a good story.
Yeah, and maybe they're going to go someplace better with it, but it was very
maybe they
frustrating.
Can, but you put that in there, and it's a speed bump in the story.
Yeah, it just really, it felt like they invalidated Cade Six's death.
Yeah. Just, why'd we do all that? Nothing.
Yeah, it was just, we gotta get rid of him.
It's like it goes back to the whole thing with the stranger. Like I don't have time to explain why I don't have time. It was like, okay, cool. And then it's like, oh yeah, you helped call back the darkness. Here's a gun. Bye.
Yeah, you gotta play Beyond Light.
And
the stranger's in Beyond Light. That's why I say.
Yeah, I know she is, and they finally brought her back. But it's like, is that what's going to happen? You're going to finally validate killing off Cade 6? You know, like, how many DLCs from now? How many games from now?
I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to give him a chance to see where it goes. Yeah. So far, I mean, they brought back Vault of Glass, and I love Vault of Glass. And they made changes to it that were good for Vault of Glass.
Just give me a Fatebringer.
Yeah, you can. You can get Fatebringer. But the thing is, you can get the role on. It's not a specific role on Fatebringer anymore.
Yeah, I love the Fatebringer role. I used that so for as long as I was allowed to power that gun up to whatever to current full power. I did that. That I never thought I would run a hand cannon as a main so much. I thought it would have been cool to do that, but I was like, man, screw that. Like, I'm just going to get wrecked all the time. Nope. I ran Fatebringer as a main so much as a hunter in that game once I got it. And I didn't even realize what I got until I got it. So it was first time playing Vault of Glass. I got a gun. It was like, I got Fatebringer. And everyone else was talking about these other things. I was like, I've heard about that one. That one's really cool. And then, like, at the end, when I got Thunderlord, I was like, yeah, Thunderlord's kind of cool, but I kind of wanted the Vex Mythoclast. But when I started twiddling with Fatebringer, yeah, that was my jam.
Well, the Vex Mythoclast is back, and I can tell you that it's still stupid overpowered.
Of course.
Yeah. It's still super. It's a fun weapon, especially in this season right now, because you've got this, I forget what the mod is called, but it basically makes fusion rifles just stupid overpowered. And since the Vex Mythoclast is a fusion rifle, it's silly overpowered. Like, you could melt shit with it.
I like running through and just using the lasers like Cold Heart and PvP.
Oh, trace rifles, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like increased speed, low gravity, and using rockets on Valhalla in Halo 3.
So the fun thing about it is back when Prometheus Lens was out, that was one of the trace rifles that literally, it was so broken in PvP that it was like playing laser tag. All you had to do was run in and boop, you tagged them with it and they were dead. It was the funnest time in the world. And the weirdest part is Bungie actually listened to that and they've got a version of Crucible called Momentum Control, where all of your weapons are like 10 times more deadly. So instead of people being bullet sponges, you literally can rock them with like one hit with a lot of different weapons.
Is it like one hit to the head, or is it just one hit body?
No, like one hit head, maybe a couple hits bodies, but some weapons are just one hits. Like a sniper rifle, one hit wherever, doesn't matter, you're dead. And Momentum Control is I gotta say, it's probably my funnest. It's the funnest. It's the funnest Crucible I think I've played in that game. Nice. So whenever it comes around, I love playing it, and I never have loved playing Crucible. I've never said those words. I love playing Momentum Control. It's just stupid fun.
There was a guy who got me hooked on. I forget his name for the life of me. And I played on Xbox 360 with. He was just a random, and I got through ranked matches with him. And that's how I had more fun doing that. And he was just some random guy I played with. And he got me hooked on Halo SWAT.
Okay.
And Halo SWAT was battle rifles, and it was headshots. Only headshots. You can shoot someone in the body all day long, and it did nothing. Headshots to kill.
Interesting.
So I think Bungie should, if it's possible, and it depends on how they've laid out the damage for Guardians in the Crucible, but make it headshots only.
That would be a fun mode. I would play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely be down with that.
That was a pretty fast paced game. SWAT was a really good name for it because you literally just went in and it was like accuracy. It was, it wasn't like, people running around and just like doing stupid crap. And then, it was literally just people were, you could see them, they're just walking through, and it's just like peek, doing stuff like that. So it made it a little more tactical, I feel like.
Yeah,
and it was fun at times.
That
small
sounds
maps
like
would
fun.
be fun.
Yeah, I love the old Battlefield maps where they had the CQC maps, really close quarters, shotguns and rocket launchers, but just close quarter maps that were just stupid fun to play.
So Battlefield is just horrendous right now.
I've heard
the graphics are. When I was playing it, I was like, okay, so this is like next gen console game, and still playing it on a decent console. But I was like, what am I playing on? Am I playing on Xbox? Like OG Xbox? Am I playing this on a GameCube now? The graphics were just crud. And then you have tanks, hover tanks, on top of skyscrapers.
Okay.
How's that supposed to happen? And then like the opener for the game is it's this dark, horrible time, and everyone's died off, and there's only 2 superpowers left, and it's all about proxy wars. And I was like, oh wow, the world's gone to crud. This is pretty serious. And then you play a match, because there's no campaign to this whatsoever. Okay. They have the guy. So they had the guy who voiced Irish in Battlefield 4, voicing an older soldier. And, it's this proxy war and everything's serious. And then you finish a match, and then the top 5 players are shown, along with the top, as a part of the top squad, and what they were the best at, and their characters talk. Oh wow, that wasn't what I was expecting. Better luck next time.
Oh god.
It's just like this. It's like, wow, there goes the serious element. Like we're talking about how war is horrible and it's a really bad thing, and then you're being a bunch of goofballs about it. Like, kind of destroys that whole opening cutscene you guys put together. Like, what's the story or the premise of this? This is, it's like cartoony, like it was like Fortnite or something. And then now they're coming out with skins. Santa Claus skin.
Wait, what?
Yep, there is a Santa Claus skin. Now, I will admit, I will give Battlefield this. The Santa Claus skin does not look toony.
Okay.
But I wouldn't... I don't know what he's supposed to say. But it's not going to be anything. I have a feeling that his, like, if you see him at the end of a game, like, and there you go, that's in recording chat for you. So for those of you who don't know what this is, so you have Santa Claus with his coat. And you can see his hood and his white beard.
Okay. That's not terrible.
Old wrinkly face. He's holding a Kalashnikov with an ACOG on it. And he's got sleeves, like tattooed sleeves, because it's like his big red coat's rolled up to his elbows. And he's got tactical vest on with, looks like he's got like I'd have to say he looks like he's got one of the old SOG special forces from Vietnam. He's got one of the old SOG patches. And, he's got like knee pads on, and it's just his vest. He's got a lot of tactical stuff, and he's got tactical stuff on his hip. But sorry. I mean, sure, kind of cool. I'm not too excited about skins. I really could care less. I care more about the guns in the game, because to me, that's what I grind for. That's what I grind for in 3. That's what I grind for in 4. I want the guns. I want this specific gun. And I just feel like adding Santa Claus and these catchy, silly phrases at the end of every match just kind of like destroys the story of whatever they're trying to set up in the beginning. Like, whatever it is. Like, if you want this thing to be serious, you sure as heck don't make it serious by doing that at the end. Like, I'm sure, like, some of the players, like, when I first saw it, I was kind of, like, weirded out by it, and I'm like, this is odd. And then I heard what some of them had to say, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of entertaining, but it kind of undermines what you guys laid out. Like, I turned on the game, and this is your story, this is the world that you're trying to create, and then I'm trying to get me to envision. I guess not. I guess it doesn't matter. To me, it's...
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is that Battlefield is always been about, being able to blend in, be able to hide. With that Santa Claus, you're not hiding. I mean, you're a big red target. So yeah. I wouldn't imagine why anybody would play that unless it was just like, hey, it's an all Santa Claus match.
Yeah, which, I'm sure there would be some server that does that. Santa Claus skins only, boys. And, that I'd have to say the blending thing is one of the most frustrating things about Battlefield. I have a love-hate relationship with that PvP. I die so much in that game because I can't see people. I cannot see them. They do not stick out like a sore thumb. They blend in too easily, and I can't do it.
Well, I think that's the point. I think that's the point. Is that like they're
it
meant to blend
is. And and the other thing I like is, so the Halo sniper rifle would not do well in a Battlefield game because you get all that zoom, and then just the bullet just flies. I like the drop. I love that. It's guns aren't lasers.
Yeah, the bullet physics.
Bullet physics definitely makes the game. Like, that's one of the things I'd have to say I enjoyed about the Ghost Recon games. Like, me and my friends, we loved just hanging up high and just, like, picking people off. And I enjoyed that in Battlefield as well, because when I can do it, it's fun and it's satisfying. But,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
100% agree. Like that's one of the things that I always enjoyed about Battlefield was just the I don't want to say the realism to it, because I don't think it was that real, but that they went and spent the time to give bullets mass. You know, when you fire a 50 caliber sniper rifle, you know, you got a Barrett and you're looking across the map and you let the thing rip. You know, you actually have to compensate for bullet drop. I don't believe you had to compensate for wind.
No, wind had nothing to do with it. Like, I don't even think they added wind until 5, and it was one of the DLCs or something like that.
Now, the one thing I can tell you that I really enjoyed in the Battlefield game is when they came out with the night maps or the night ops.
Yes.
Those were so much fun.
Yeah, I remember doing that. That was...
You see all the tracer rounds bouncing back and forth. Night vision goggles were almost an absolute must. It was like, you don't play night ops unless you've got NVGs. And if you didn't have NVGs, you basically were running around shooting as much as you possibly could until you could unlock NVGs.
Yep. And thermal scopes and just, yeah, the game had a lot of good modes to it. And definitely, I'd have to say the story was enjoyable in 3, and 4 was a little too pro-China for my liking. I really feel like they should have done something differently with it.
Okay, fair enough.
But I don't know. I guess I don't know what they were trying to do. I think they were trying to appeal to a Chinese market. I mean, you fought the Chinese, but you were fighting, I guess, also Russians, and it was confusing because it was like a corrupt this and that, and it's just kind of like, I don't know about that, guys. Just pick an enemy. Because when you do player versus player, it was U.S. forces versus Russian forces. Which I know that goes back to 3. I don't know if that went back further.
I don't remember it in Battlefield 2.
But destroyable environments, bullet physics is a lot of good things. The Santa Claus thing is meh, but I'll tell you what, it's better than Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman's Santa Inc.
True. I'll give you that. Man, we're getting the yawnies tonight. It's been a long week.
It has been.
Well, what did you do for Thanksgiving? You do anything cool?
So I didn't travel, which was nice. My wife and I had made like this whole plan that our first Thanksgiving, so last year, we got married, was going to be at home. We were going to have it at our home. We would host, and anybody who wanted to join us was welcome to in our family. And that was what we were going to do. My mom was a little freaked out about COVID, so she didn't come for dinner, but she brought dessert. And don't ask me how to square that circle, man, because I have no idea how that works. So you're going to come over for dessert, but the dinner thing, that's completely off. You're going to bring us dessert, but you're not going to come for...
Oh, God.
Okay, sure, Mom. I remember I told my wife this. I told her this, and she's like, you're kidding me. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. She's like, you're not going to argue with her about that? I'm like, no, because at least she'll come. Because I'm not going to argue with her how stupid that sounds. Because I might convince her how stupid it sounds, and then she won't come at all. So this year, everyone's not freaking out. No one has potentially tested positive for COVID because last year my sister was around a coworker who tested positive for COVID, and she was trying to get a rapid test so she could come to Thanksgiving, but she couldn't get one in time. So it was just like, mom's like, you can't come. So this year, no one was sick. So my mother hosted at her house. My dad was there. Brittany and I went over because her parents didn't want us to come because my mother-in-law had to work the day before and the day after Thanksgiving. Didn't want to do any work. Didn't want us to come over to a messy house. So they're like, we're not going to come to you, but we don't want you coming to us. Again, don't ask me how to square that circle. It just sounds silly and weird. But whatever. So we went over to my parents' house and we spent Thanksgiving with them. My sister came up. She brought her new boyfriend. And it was a nice, lovely evening. Sat around and talked and had good food and got to have a Thanksgiving together. And then the rest of the time I spent playing video games, shopping for furniture, shopping for other things that we need. And I think I watched my my alumni, the Bulls, lose the football game, but not lose it so massively bad like I thought they were going to. Like they had a 78. They had an 83% chance of losing that game, and they lost it. But there was also an 18-point spread. They lost the game, I think, by I want to say 4 points, something like that.
That's not bad. I mean, that's not a shutout or anything.
No,
like it was a good match.
It actually made it a compelling rivalry game for a horrible season that they had, and UCF having a better season. I was actually quite impressed. So, what about you?
So I ended up, we went up to Maryland, hung out at my brother's house. My dad came over from England, and he was over there as well. So we hung out and ate, my brother smoked a turkey, which it came out pretty darn good. Didn't taste nearly as smoky as I expected it to. I kind of expected it to be, I don't know, have a lot more of a smoke flavor, but it was really good, juicy. I made a couple of cheesecakes, so that's been my new thing. I've been experimenting making cheesecakes. I've got a really nice pumpkin cheesecake recipe and a normal cheesecake recipe. I don't make the crusts. I buy store-bought graham cracker crusts, but they're good. They're flavorful. I like how they come out. The pumpkin one by far is the best one I make. My regular cheesecake, I still got to work on. I gotta like nail that recipe down a bit more, but still good stuff. And then we went up and we drove back. Well, Lex had to work Friday, so we drove back here Thursday night, got her, we went to bed and whatever. And then she went to work, and then once she got back, we drove back up to my brother's house and spent the rest of the weekend there, and then came back Sunday. So a lot of driving, but good stuff. The one thing that I was reading though, which I thought was kind of friggin' wild, there was, and you tell me what your thought on this is, like what this person was doing or what message they were sending. But a guy and I guess his girlfriend, they were going to go over to his parents or his family's house for Thanksgiving. And she said that she wasn't going to eat anything there. She was going to prepare her own meal and bring it with her and eat her own meal there. And he took a stance and just said, well, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to insult my mother's cooking that way. You're not even trying any of it. And her excuse was, well, we have the same thing over and over again every year, and I just don't want to do it. I want to make my own meal and eat my own meal. And she got all bent out of shape because she's like, well, I can't believe you wouldn't support me on this. And he's just like, well, no, I'm not going to let you friggin' insult my mother's cooking that way without even trying it. You know, it's one time a year. You just, even if you don't like turkey and stuffing and all that crap, you suck it up. And the one time a year you get together as a family and you just enjoy being together as a family. And if you can't enjoy being together as a family, then that's not your family. Go find something else. But, yeah, so she got all bent out of shape. So he just said, no, then you're not going, you know, plain and simple. And no, just don't go. And he went off and had a great time. But what do you think she was doing there? Like, what do you think she was trying to convey there?
I think she's trying to convey that she wants to control everything. Like,
yeah. See, I really thought that it was a power play. Like, she was trying to go and be like, hey, look, everybody, I've got such power over him that I'm going to make my own meal and he's not going to say anything. And you all aren't going to say anything type of thing. And then when it backfired on her, she was just like... I don't know
about someone else not saying something, because I got in trouble before I got to my mother's house.
Uh-huh.
I got in trouble there before I got to my parents' house. I took my firearms and I opened them up and I set them, kind of staged them on my bed. And I had magazines laying out. I had extra bullets laying out.
Okay.
And so I had all these, and I took a photo of all of this, and I sent it to my sister, and I said, getting ready to meet your boyfriend.
Nice.
First time ever he's going to be meeting the family. So apparently she showed it to my mother, and my mother got really pissed, and she said, that's not funny. And I laughed, and I was like, I think it's hilarious. She's like, you shouldn't be doing that. I was like, whatever. My sister picked on me as a kid. So I think that if you did something like making this own meal, like, and then bringing it with you, like, let me preface it by saying that if my wife was a vegan and we were going to go to a Thanksgiving meal, I would not expect someone to cater to her if everyone is not vegan. So she's vegan, so we're going to do this whole thing where she'll make what she needs to make for her meal, and then she can eat whatever she's able to eat at the dinner table, which, being from the South, is probably the salad, and that's about it.
What about collard greens? I mean, sometimes you put bacon in collard greens. You're right.
Bacon goes in collard greens.
I don't put bacon in collard greens.
Collard greens are cooked in chicken broth. Basically not vegetarian whatsoever.
No, I cook mine in olive oil.
Well, I like to saute mine in
chicken broth. Interesting.
Chicken broth. Yep. And it's done me good for all the years. But anyhow, so that would be understandable. This situation, this is a power play, and I think, yes, she could bring it and say that she has control over him. Fine and dandy, I guess. That you prove that you have control over them, but you ain't gonna feel fine and dandy when one of the family members puts you in your place.
Well, but that's the thing, though, is that
I wouldn't expect,
like, somebody brings their girlfriend along, and as a family member, you typically are like, even if you don't like the person, you're just like, all right, I'm going to be civil, I'm not going to say a word because I don't want to start a scene.
Nope. Then doing something like that, you're going to be that rude? I'm
not that way. No. If I see somebody doing something, I call them out because, you could call me tactless or whatever, but if you're going to ask like an asshole, I'm going to call you out as being an asshole. You want to say I'm an asshole? Hey, cool. I'll raise my hand and say, yep, I'm an a-hole right here. Absolutely.
Like
I'm being an a-hole. But you know what? You are too.
Yeah. So it's oh, I don't like the way she smacks her lips when she chews. I don't like that.
That's just being
I have
petty.
to watch the politics I talk about at the dinner table because of my sister's boyfriend. No. He's going to be a dick or he's going to be an ass. Sorry, I'm going to call you out for it.
I was going to say, but there's differences there. I mean, like if you know, like for instance, if you know somebody's a Donald Trump supporter, and you start ragging on Donald Trump, like that's on you. You're being the jackass now, baiting the person and getting them riled up. Now, their reaction, they could choose to react the way that they want, but you're still being a jerk by baiting them into that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, like, if my sister was dating a liberal, I wouldn't be baiting him at the dinner table.
No,
at Thanksgiving.
If they bring up the conversation, they gotta be willing to just accept that other people are going to have a difference of opinion, and they have to accept what they're going to say.
If they want to bring it up, then yeah, it's fair game. But otherwise, no. My wife would prefer I don't bring up politics because she just doesn't want to hear about it. She'd rather hear another subject matter. But yeah, this bringing the whole prepared meal thing, like, no.
Yeah, it seems so much in my head like she's just trying to be like, oh, I can bring this and he's not going to say a word type of thing.
And it's rude. You're going over to someone's
100%.
home and they're cooking for you. They're spending the time making stuff. I don't care if they're making it for 5 or 6 other people. They are spending the time and the effort making it for 5 or 6 people, and you're counted amongst those 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
And spending that money and spending that time.
You at least try it.
You should eat what's put in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Unless you're allergic to it, or you have some religious exemption, then, or some health exemption, then there's a difference. But just because you don't like, no.
Well, no. I mean, if you genuinely don't like it, okay. Like for instance, I'm not a big mayo person. In fact, most things with mayo in it, I don't like. I have started to grow to like things that have styles of mayo, where they're mayo mixed with a bunch of other stuff. So it's kind of not mayo, but it's a mayo-based something.
Butter on your sandwich kind of guy?
No, I'm actually a dry type of sandwich type of guy.
There's just something unholy and wrong with you then.
I agree with you completely, and I will burn in hell gladly with my dry sandwich.
No. You're going to burn in hell with the sandwich with extra mayo on it. That's what's going to happen to you.
No. It'll be a dry sandwich because they burn easier.
No. You like your dry sandwiches. You don't get what you like.
No. They catch fire easier. I'll be like, it's on fire on my face. But like for instance, I don't like things with mayo in it. So like when there's potato salad or chicken salad or egg salad, I pass. And I just, if they say, hey, would you like some? No, thank you. I'm okay. Or, thank you very much, but I don't really like egg salad. Now, if it's a genuine, you just don't like something, I 100% understand. But Thanksgiving typically has several dishes there, and you can find one that you like. And if you can't find one that you like, you can at least find one that you can stomach. Like, oh, I like mashed potatoes. Oh man, they made these mashed potatoes with sour cream. Oh, I don't like sour cream and mashed potatoes. You know what? Screw it. I can. It's something I can work with. And you eat the mashed potatoes that were made with sour cream. Or you like cranberry sauce. Oh, but you don't like the Jell-O cranberry sauce. You like the lumpy cranberry sauce. Well, all right. You like cranberry sauce. You can stomach the Jell-O. You eat the Jell-O. You know what I'm talking about? The canned one with just like a literal gelatinous blob that comes out.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. I'm nothing against it. I don't like cranberry sauce in general. So
my mother-in-law makes something, and it's it does require gelatin for her cranberry sauce. Delicious. Yeah, did my wife make that last year?
There's a lot of things that require gelatin to make them, and they are delicious. I got nothing wrong with gelatin. I just don't like cranberry sauce, just in general. I don't like the lumpy or the gelatin one. But if there's a genuine, you just don't like something. Like, I don't know. Maybe you just don't like turkey. Okay, you don't like turkey. There's stuffing, there's mashed potatoes, there's sweet potato casserole. I mean, there's usually
Sometimes there's ham.
There's a ton, ham. There's a ton of other stuff there that you can find something to eat. Even if you just have a little something and all right, well, I'll eat something when I get home. You still go, you show the respect for the person who spent sometimes days preparing. Because like if they were brining that chicken the day before, they were cooking cheesecakes 2 days prior, days before they were making this stuff so that everybody could eat. You give it a shot. Like, okay, let me give you a fantastic case in point. My father does not like banana cream pie. Like at all. When he first got here...
He's British,
yeah,
right?
He's English, yeah. So
okay, understandable.
So when he first got here, my Aunt Mary said, "Hey, we got this banana cream pie. Would you like to try some?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll try it." And he tried it, and he said, "Oh, that's nice." Being nice, being kind. Okay? He didn't really love it. He was like, "Oh my God, this is the amazingest thing in the world." Every year after, including this year, there has been a banana cream pie. It actually turned into a running joke now that we have a banana cream pie at Thanksgiving. He will have his last Thanksgiving and there will be a banana cream pie at that Thanksgiving because it's a joke now. He genuinely does not like banana cream pie. But you know what? Every year he has a piece of banana cream pie because we actually buy it for him. This is like the first year I think he didn't have a banana cream pie. But that's only because we literally were egging him on beforehand about how much he hated a banana cream pie. And then we pulled out a banana cream pie. So, he knew what the gag was.
Nice. Very nice.
But every year, like when he would go over to my Aunt Mary's and she would either make originally she would make them and then she started buying them. Because she would go all out. It was nuts. Anyway. She would always have a banana cream pie there, and my father would always have a piece of banana cream pie. And it wasn't because he liked banana cream pie. In fact, I'm pretty confident after the 5th year of there being one there, he did not like banana cream pie whatsoever. But he still had a piece because he was being respectful, and he's like, hey, you know what? They got it for me. He doesn't know. Now, he could have just turned around. And I know if you're listening, he should have just communicated. Dude, it was the 70s, okay? And the mode of thinking was not like it is today. It wasn't let me tell everybody how I feel and they will accept it. No, that's not how it went. You had tact, you had, you would just suck it up sometimes, especially if it was something that really wasn't hurting you in any way, shape, or form. Like, what good would it have done to say, you know what, I really don't like banana cream pies, please don't get them anymore. And you just had this person who, even for the last, let's say, 2 years, has gotten a banana cream pie for you because they thought you liked it. And now you just turn around and crush their feelings completely going, oh, I really thought you liked these. I kind of went out of my way to go get you a banana cream pie. It's okay though. It's sometimes you just suck it up because you're like, it's one time a year. It's family. Okay.
Yeah. And that's a good point. It's family.
Yeah.
Like you just deal with some things because it's family. Why do you need to cause any more drama? And
I mean, it's It's a huge difference if there's something that's really like there's some sort of abuse involved or something like that. That's a completely different story. We're talking about a Thanksgiving dish.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of banana cream pie, but everyone keeps bringing it to Thanksgiving every year, so I suck it up and I eat the banana cream pie because it's manners. Exactly. You're just showing the respect. And that girl who decides to bring the meal, it's like you need to understand. So this is. This is where I've differed on a lot of people throughout my life. Dating has always been something it's been wired into me. I don't know what it was. It was doing that for me since, gosh darn it, been interested in girls since second grade, I guess. I think that's the how far back I can remember. But like, it's always a serious thing. You take it seriously, you put time and effort into it, and it's a springboard towards spending your life with someone for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Until death do you part. Like, commitment is something that I never taken lightly. And especially with my wife, when we were dating, I told her, I said, you're never going to hear me say we should break up and then get a call from me 2 weeks later that says that was a mistake and we should try this again. If I break up with you, that's it. We're done. And finito. Like, I'm in it for the long haul, but like, you take things seriously and you take a relationship seriously. So when you do crap like that, tells me you don't take this seriously because you think that you can be rude to my family, whom you are going to, if this works out, marry into, and they're going to be your family, just like I have to put up with your family, and if I marry you, I'm marrying into that. So, like, none of this petty crap is going to fly, because if we really want this to go anywhere, then that's something we're going to have to deal with. The time that you decided it was cool to insult my family, or the time that I told your mom to go take a hike, or the time that I threw the banana cream pie across the freaking room because I'm tired of them bringing it to every freaking Thanksgiving. Like, you're going to have to deal with that for the rest of your life. If this is seriously a relationship, or if it's not, then, well, maybe we should just end it now.
Well, and that's the thing, is that, like, you and I have very similar views, because when you marry, it's like, I got taught that it's a merging of the two families. So
yep,
it's not that's your family, that's my family. It's our family now. You know, it may be my mother-in-law because we're designating whose mother it is, but she's family. You know, my brother-in-law, he's in-law, he's still my brother. He's family. He may not view it that way, but that's how it goes. You're family. And once, you know, I don't know, once you're family, you're family. And it's tough when you see, you know, you don't see a lot of people that take that to heart nowadays. You know, they don't, you know, they think that it's much more about being the individual and being the I'm who I am over this is who we are. And I think we're going down a rabbit hole here that
yes, we are
is gonna start turning a big left turn here over to something that should be in a completely different chat. But anyways, wrong podcast. But on that note, it's actually getting a bit late, and I've got a ton of stuff because we got started super late. That's my fault. But Blue, where can people find you at, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me in the G.N.A. Discord, randomly popping in once a day. And if you say hi, maybe I'll stick around for a little bit longer than that. You can also find me on Twitter at G.N.A. at Blue Shark 45. Yeah.
So giving away our trade secrets. Now you know who runs the G.N.A. Twitter.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm Cecil Xavier, your host. You can find me on Cecil vs. Games on Twitter, Cecil Xavier everywhere else, sometimes with an underscore, sometimes not. You can find me on Twitch, Ustream, Facebook, Grindr, Tinder, Bumble. I don't know. Find me everywhere. I am everywhere. Just look for me. If I'm not there, let me know. I'll sign up there. However, I can tell you that there is a Cecil Xavier on Pornhub, and that's actually not me. That's. I wish I could say that was me, but that is really not me. One, I'm a white guy, and two, My genitals and my kneecaps have never met. Just flat out. I'm 100% honest there.
Honesty is key.
Honesty is key. We are partnered with Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle is a game purchasing service that allows you to purchase games with a little bit of a twist. You donate to charity along with it. So if you go to Humble Bundle and you order anything or you're going to buy anything, just put !partner equals G.N.A podcast at the end of the link. Or if there's already a question mark, blah, 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 something, just delete everything after the question mark and put partner equals G.N.A podcast and then hit enter. That will let them know that we sent you there. We don't want you to give us any money. If there's a slider there where you can choose where things go to, put the G.N.A slider all the way down to 0. We don't want your money. We just want you to let them know we sent you there. What else? Well, we hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Reviews help people find the show, so if you enjoy listening to us, let other people know. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Player FM, Spreaker, Your Listen, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, a ton of other places. If we're not there, let us know. We'll upload there. What else? Oh, we have a website. What's the website, Blue?
Our website is given to you nice and easily at an even tone, nice and calm, low decibel level, and it is www.gnapodcast.com.
Gotta say, I was cringing there. I thought you were leading up to a yell. I was like, literally, I did the little squint thing where you close off your eardrums from the inside. I was doing it.
Was it? I'm not taking Damock's thunder from him.
All right, man. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. As always, it's a pleasure. And have a great night.
And you too. Good night, y'all.